Hi, and thanks for joining me today for a reformer class. I'm going to be using a ball and I'm going to be using my box, but that'll come later, so I'm going to set both of them to the side. I'm going to start with 3 red springs, so those are 3 heavy springs on my balanced body equipment, and let's go ahead and lay down. So today's class is going to be all about stretching and lengthening the body. So let's just start with reaching the arms long beside you. Reach the head nice and long so the back of the neck's long, your tailbone's grounded into the carriage, feet are flexed, you're on your heels. Starting with a bridge, you want to roll the spine up 1 vertebrae at a time, slowly peeling your back up and off of the carriage. And then just feel your spine melt back into the carriage. So keeping the tailbone lifted as long as you can as you let your back slowly release all the way back down. Tailbone's heavy at the end. And we'll do that several more times. So exhaling as you roll up. Taking a big inhale, filling the lungs. And then nice exhale as you melt your spine all the way back down. Good. So this is a great class for you to do if you maybe want an active recovery day. What that means is maybe a day when you don't want to work out too hard, but you still want to do something. You still want to move your body through a full range of motion, but you don't want to work too intensely. So this is going to be all about stretching, all about lengthening, and should feel pretty nice. Let's do that 2 more times, rolling the spine up 1 vertebrae at a time with an exhale. Inhaling to the top and then just melting. So let any kind of engagement of the glutes release. Let your back just gently melt into the carriage. We'll do that 1 more time, rolling all the way up to the top and then gently rolling all the way back down. Now once your tailbone's down and your neutral pelvis, flex your feet. We'll start with some footwork. So inhale as you push out and exhale back in. So even though this is our stretch class, your muscles are going to stretch better when they're warm. So if you think of your muscles like metal, so if you had a metal rod, when the metal rod's cold, it's not going to be able to move at all. But if you heat that metal rod up quite a bit, then it becomes more pliable. So same thing with the muscles. We want to heat the muscles up and then we'll be able to stretch a little bit more. So again, we'll be doing some work, but it won't be too intense. It's just mainly to build some heat in the body so that we can stretch. Inhaling as you press, exhaling as you resist. Just a few more out. Think of that full range of motion, pushing the muscles all the way out, resisting it back in. Do that 2 more times, out, and last time, out and in. Move the balls of the feet to the bar, lift your heels high. Let's push all the way out and hold. Lower your heels under the bar, lift your heels back up, and bend the knees back in. So you're building some heat through the legs, through the whole body. Good. Inhaling as you press. Lower the heels with a big exhale. Inhale as you lift the heels and then bend the knees home. And just think about your arms just resting gently to the sides. Let your whole back just kind of melt into the carriage. Your headrest can be up if that feels more comfortable for you. I like mine down. So I usually keep mine down most of the class, but please put your headrest where you'd like to. Take your time as you lower the heels down and up, getting that really good stretch to the calves. We'll do that 1 more time. And then we're going to go back out again. 1 more time, push out right into running. Your right heel goes down, your left heel lifts, and then lift both heels. Your left heel goes down, your right knee bends, lift both heels. So you're going to alternate just nice and slow. If you feel comfortable, you can add a little bit of speed, but again, we're not going to work too hard today. Just nice and steady and slow tempo. Even though we're not working too hard, you should definitely start to feel that heat building. Feel the legs really engaged. Last 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Lift both heels, bend your knees, and come home. Turn your knees out, come a little bit wide so your heels aren't going to actually touch. You're going to be about hips distance apart with the balls of the feet with your heels lifted. We're going to push the carriage out with the heels lifted and the knees facing out. Then we're going to rotate the knees in and come in and let the knees touch. So you're going to open the knees wide, push the carriage out. Pull the knees in, bend the carriage in, and let the knees touch. So we're stirring the femur, the leg bone, and the hip socket, rotating on the ball of the foot. So rotate the knees open and push, rotate the knees closed and pull in. Rotate open, and you're working at a range of motion that feels good for you, so you're opening those hips as wide as comfortable for you, pressing all the way out, rotating in and coming home. Again, slow and steady motion, just working on your range of motion and working on connecting to your breath. Inhaling as you push and exhaling as you come back in. We'll do one more in this direction and then we're going to reverse. So with your knees still staying together, you're going to push out and then you're going to open your knees as you come in. So the knees go together to push and the knees go open to resist back in. Good, just spinning on the balls of the feet, keeping those heels lifted high in space. We'll do 4 and 3. Last 2 and 1 more here. Good. Bring the legs up into tabletop. Take your hands and grab your pegs. Let your elbows go wide. So we're going to take the legs to the right and let your left shoulder stay down. I always feel a really awesome pop, so hopefully you got a nice pop too. Just hold it as long as you like, just feeling that stretch the whole side of the left oblique. And then use your abs, so pull your abs in tight and bring it back to the center. We'll do the other side. So let your legs go towards the left. Keep your right shoulder grounded. Keep pulling your pegs gently apart to help drop the shoulders down and keep the elbows wide. And then exhale back to the center. Just 2 more to each side. Inhaling to the right. Again, listen to your body. Just go over as far as comfortable for you. And every day may be a little different. And exhale back to the center. And you definitely don't need to be holding it as long as I am. I'm just kind of holding and enjoying this little stretch. Or you can hold it even longer. And then back to the center. We'll do 1 more to each side. So as you go to the right, you pull the left peg towards the left. Drop the left shoulder down the back. And then back to the center. And then 1 more time to the left. Pulling the right peg to the right. And dropping the right shoulder. And then back to the center. Put your heels on hips distance apart. Take your right leg and cross it in a figure 4, and then take the arms to your sides. So you're going to keep pushing this right knee away from you, and then as you press out, you're going to open the leg, and then as you come in, you'll close back into that figure 4. So you're pushing your right ankle bone into the right thigh, left thigh, and you're dropping your right knee. So you're getting a big stretch through the glute as you come in, and as you go out, you're stretching through the hip flexor in the front of the leg. Good. Pressing out and resisting back in. Pressing out and resisting. I did not change the weight, so I'm still in my red 3 heavy springs. And if this is too much, you can always drop it. But we're not doing too many. We'll do 3 and 2 and 1 more. Bring the carriage home. Lift your left foot off of the foot bar and take your hands to grab behind the hamstring and then give that leg a little pull. So you're either going to hold here. If you feel comfortable, you can rock side to side, giving your back a little massage. Think about drawing your right knee away from you. You could even take your hand and kind of push the right knee away from you. Whatever feels best to get that stretch through the right glute and outer thigh. and then we'll come back to the center and switch. So put the right heel on the bar, take the left leg into that turned out position, figure 4, arms resting to the sides. Push into that right heel, reaching your left leg down, and then as you come into that nice glute stretch on the left side. So you push all the way out, and then resist it back in. Inhale as you press, exhale, resist in. So since we're working on stretching, you don't need to move too quick. It can be a slow, steady pace that you're going to be working at. Working with your breath. Your breath is going to help you to get deeper into your stretches. So as you do your exhale, think of opening through that outer thigh and glute. Inhale and then exhale. Do that 3 more times. And 2. 1 more pressing out, and then bring yourself home. Lift your right foot off the bar, take your hands, grab behind your right hamstring, and give that leg a little pull. If you feel comfortable, you can kind of rock side to side, massaging the low back. You can even take that left hand and push your left knee away from you, whatever helps you to stretch. Good, just a few more breaths here. And then you can pull both knees into your chest, and we'll roll all the way up and off. All right, so we're gonna have a seat in a mermaid position. I'm gonna just adjust my pants, kind of losing them there, and we'll come to the right shin against the shoulder block, your left leg forward. Now let's change the weight to a blue spring, which is my medium, and I'm gonna take all the reds off, so I only have 1 blue spring left. Take the front strap and put it in your right hand and bring your right hand by your ear. So we're gonna do an overhead press with this right arm. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lean to the foot bar and reach that arm long, and then bring it all the way back up, stacking the spine. So again, we're working on stretching through that full range of motion, and then bringing it back up. So if this is too much weight and you don't feel like you can get the full range of motion, then definitely you can take it down to the yellow spring. If you have that, that's the lightest spring. If you don't have the yellow, then you can just do this without the strap and just work into the stretch. But I definitely want you to feel, you're definitely working, but I want you to feel the stretch as you reach the arm and then bring it back. Do that 1 more time and bring it back. Good, now interlace your fingers. You're gonna start with your arms over towards the shoulder blocks, and then you're gonna rotate your whole torso to the left, and then rotate your whole torso back. Rotating and wrapping your rib cage, and then rotating back. Concentrate on your full deep breaths, expanding the lungs out to the sides as you inhale, pulling the rib cage in as you exhale. Good, we'll do 2 more of these rotations. And then let's put the strap in the left hand. So the left hand's gonna hold the strap, the right hand can come to the shoulder block. You're gonna draw the sword up and punch it to the foot bar. Reach the arm up and lean your body. Now when I lean over, I'm actually putting my elbow onto the back shoulder block and getting a big stretch, trying to press my chest forward and towards the left. Release the arm, stack your spine, and do it again. So you'll draw the sword up, reach over your head, drop the right elbow, reach the left arm towards the tower, let it stretch you and hold, and then bring the arm down, stack the spine back up. So you draw the sword first, you lengthen into your stretch, drop the right elbow, hold your stretch as long as you like, release the elbow, stack the spine. And again, exhale, press, inhale, big circle, opening that whole left side of the body, bringing the arm down and stacking 2 more times. Exhale, press, up and over, finding your stretch, releasing the arm, last one, and press, up and over, finding your stretch, and releasing the arm, coming all the way up. Now take your loop, and I'm gonna use my shorter loop. I've got 2 different loops I can use, and thread the arm onto the the strap on the forearm. Interlace your fingers behind your head and lift your sternum up. We're going to lean towards the left and then lean towards the right. Leaning just to the left and leaning back to the right. Try to stack your spine really tall, and you're just doing this lateral flexion. So you're flexing the spine to the right and you're flexing the spine to the left. The whole time you're lengthening though, the opposite side. So when I'm flexing right, I'm lengthening left, and when I'm flexing left, I'm lengthening right. Good, give me 2 more here. And last one. Really good job. Let's put that strap away. Put your left hand on the shoulder foot bar. You want it a little bit in front of your shoulder. Reach the right arm out to the tower. You're going to push the carriage away and lean into a nice big mermaid stretch. Now drop your left shoulder away from your ear. Reach the right fingers long and just take a few breaths here. You can rotate your torso open. You may feel a bigger stretch, and you can also rotate it a little closed. Rotate it open with a big inhale, and then rotate it closed. If you want to make that bigger, you can rotate open with an inhale, rotate all the way closed and touch the foot bar with the right hand. So you rotate and open, and you rotate back. 2 more times, you rotate and open, and rotate back. Last time, rotate open, rotate back. Take the right hand to the foot bar, move the left hand over, and then just drop your chest into the springs. Pushing the carriage away from the foot bar. Feeling that yummy stretch to the whole right side of the body. Few deep breaths in and out. Now lift your sternum, bring the carriage home, dock the carriage, and you're going to hold here. So you're going to take your right hand, pull it towards you, take your left hand, push it away from you, and rotate your whole torso to look over your left shoulder. I'm trying to lengthen my spine with every inhale I take. And then as I exhale, I'm really pushing my left hand into the foot bar, pulling my right hand towards me, and getting that little traction to stretch my entire torso. So really great spinal twist. Again, make sure you're breathing. You want to use your breath. Your body's going to respond to stretching better on an exhale. So every exhale, just try to release a little deeper into the stretch. Now very gently release, and we're going to do a counter stretch. So take your hands onto the shoulder blocks, sit really tall through the spine, and then try to push your shoulder blocks to your left as you turn your torso to the right. Again, sit tall with every inhale, and then twist deeper with every exhale. One more time, sit tall and twist deeper. And let's unwind the spine and come all the way onto our hands and knees facing the foot bar. So I'm going to put my feet up against the shoulder blocks. I'm going to make a little change here. I'm going to go to a red spring. I'm going to take the blue spring off. I'm going to push the carriage back into a little child's pose. I'm going to let my whole chest drop into the springs. Draw the shoulders away from your ears. Pull your ribs in, pull your abs in. And then we're going to do a little spinal mobility. So we're going to push the carriage back, dropping the hips forward. And then keeping your hips forward, you'll pull yourself up into a little cobra. And then you'll pull your abs in, press your hips back to your heels, and find that little child's pose. So you'll start by pushing your legs straight, pressing your hips forward, opening through the hip flexors. And then you hinge from the shoulders as you lift up into a little back bend. And then you scoop your abs and pull yourself back into that flexion. So we're going from a neutral spine with the legs going back. When we hinge from the shoulders, you're going to a little extension back bend. And then you're pulling the body back into that little child's pose flexion. And we'll do that again. You're going to press the carriage out. Lift the sternum up, find that little back bend, pull your abs in, round your back, little child's pose. So you're pressing back, keeping the arms nice and straight but not locked. Lifting the sternum up, pulling the abs in, finding that flexion. Do that one more time. Press the carriage back, pulling yourself up into your cobra, swan dive. Exhale, pull back into child's pose. Come up to stacking the spine, sitting nice and tall. You're going to tuck your tailbone underneath. We're going to do a little bit more back bending. Reach the right arm up to the ceiling, and then you're going to kind of rotate, windmill it back, and look towards the shoulder block. Now you may be able to put that hand on the shoulder block, onto the foot, or just hold it onto your leg and reach your left arm up. So I'm going to take that leg or the right hand to my heel, shoulder block, or the back of the thigh, and I'm going to reach the left arm up. Push your hips forward and get a little back bend here. Make sure you're tucking your tailbone down to lengthen the low back. And then pull your abs in to support the back as you windmill all the way back up. And we'll do the other side. So slight tuck of the tailbone, reach the left arm up, rotate slightly, look towards the left. You can take the hand down to your thigh, to the heel or the shoulder block, and reach the right arm up. So this is a camel or half camel pose. So you're drawing your shoulders away from your ears. You're reaching the right fingers as high as you can. You're rooting through the left fingers. Hips are pushing forward and your tailbone's pushing down. So this isn't about falling back. This is about lifting the chest up, pressing the hips forward and creating space in your back. And then pull your abs in for support. Take the right hand down, windmill the left arm up. We're going to go for both. Both hands are going to come to the back of the thighs. You're going to again drop your tailbone, start to roll yourself back. Now you're not dropping back. I'm almost thinking that there's this string from my sternum and it's pulling me up as I lean back. My hips are pushing forward as I lean back. And I might just stay here supporting with my hands on my legs. If you're feeling comfortable, the hands can come to the heels. And if you're feeling good in the neck, you can let your head release back. But I'm not collapsing. I'm pushing my hips forward. I'm lifting my sternum up and breathing. When you're ready to come out, you put the hands back onto the back of the legs. Lift your head if it's back. Press your hips back. Come into a little child's pose and counter stretch that extension. Whew. Really good job. All right, we're going to take it to the other side. So I want you to come into that blue spring. Take the red spring off. So I've got one blue spring on. I'm going to sit in mermaid facing this way. I'm going to readjust. I'm having my pants keep falling down. So I'm going to have my left leg against the shoulder block, my right leg in front. Left hand comes to the ear. So I have my left hand right by the ear, right hand on the carriage. Big inhale to prepare. As you exhale, you're going to push with that left arm, drop your right elbow to the carriage and lean to the foot bar. Inhale and stack it back up. Again, if this blue spring is too much, you can just do the stretch without the spring at all, or you can drop it to a yellow if that's an option for you. You want to be able to find that full range of motion through the left arm, and you want to be able to hold the end range. If you're not able to hold it and straighten it all the way out, please drop your weight a little bit. Good. Last two. Nice. One more big exhale, and then stack back up. Interlace your fingers. Let the straps pull you to the tower. Again, you're sitting nice and tall, lengthening the side waist. And as you exhale, you're going to twist your torso to the foot bar. Inhale, twist it back to the tower. Exhale, twist to the foot bar. Inhale, back to the tower. See if you can make this all about your breathing, all about your abdominals. Let your arms just kind of go along for the ride. 2 more of these twists. And last one. Good. Left hand will come to the shoulder block. You're going to take the strap in the right hand, draw the sword up and punch, lift the right arm to the ceiling, drop your left elbow to the back shoulder block, and come into this big stretch to the shoulder blocks. Hold for a moment. Let your arm go limp first. Stack your spine second, and we'll go again. So you'll draw the sword first. You'll lean, dropping the left elbow down, pressing the left hand to the tower, relaxing your left shoulder away from the ear, your right hand to the tower, sorry. And then relax the hand down, stack the spine. So you're coming all the way up to the draw the sword, dropping the left elbow, reaching through the right arm, relaxing the arm and stacking. Big exhale as you press, big inhale as you stretch, and then release. We'll do that 2 more times. And 1 more. Good. Stack your spine. Take that loop into your left forearm. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Or back of the head. Push your hands into your head, or your head into your hands, sorry. And then you're going to go leaning to the right and leaning to the left. So it's a flexion of the spine to the right, right ribs to the hip. And then a flexion of the spine to the left, left ribs to the hip. So you're drawing your right ribs to the hip, and then you're drawing your left ribs to the hip. Sit really tall and keep pushing your head back into your hands so that you're not rounding forward. You're lifting the sternum and sitting up straight. Good. Big exhale as you press right, and inhale as you press left. We'll do that 2 more times, leaning to the right, and 1 more time, leaning to the right and to the left. Good. Loose the strap, put it back on the peg, right hand on the foot bar, a little in front of the shoulder, left arm to the tower. You're going to push all the way out and find your mermaid stretch. Drop your right shoulder, reach through your left fingers, pull your abs in. I like to kind of tuck my tail under and feel an even bigger stretch to that side. And then you can open your sternum, look up, and then slightly close. Big inhale as you open, and exhale as you close. If you want to make it bigger, you can. So you inhale as you open, you exhale, tap your left pinky finger towards the foot bar. You rotate your torso open, and then tap the pinky finger. Rotate on the inhale, and exhale back. Do 1 more rotation, open, and rotate close. Set the left hand down this time, move the right hand over, and drop your chest into the springs. Sorry, I'm just enjoying this stretch. I have nothing to say. It's just amazing stretch, so hopefully you're enjoying it too. We'll hold it for 1 more breath until we go to the next amazing stretch. So I want you to come up, bring the carriage home. So I want you to stack your spine first. You're going to push your right hand away from you, pull your left hand towards you, and then start to turn your torso towards the right. Every inhale, I want you to try to lengthen your spine 1 inch longer. And then every exhale, I want you to try to rotate 1 inch farther. So you never want to compress and rotate. You want to lengthen, and then you want to rotate. Good. I'm pushing the right hand into the foot bar. You probably can't see much of what's happening, but a lot's going on. My right hand's pushing forward. My left hand is pulling back, and I'm getting that traction through my spine. Very slowly, you're going to resist or release, and we'll go the other way. So take a second if you need. Both hands on the shoulder blocks. Stack your spine, sit tall. I'm going to push my shoulder blocks to the right as I rotate my torso to the left in an opposition stretch. Take an inhale, sit tall. Exhale, rotate and twist. Big inhale, sit tall. Exhale, rotate and twist. And then release all the way forward. Good, take your ball. We're on a blue spring. We're gonna face the tower now. I'm gonna bring my feet onto the headrest. I'm gonna kind of slide forward a little bit so I can place this ball right at kind of my shoulder blades, or where my kind of bra line would be, and then I'm gonna pick up my straps. So you might need to pick up your straps before you lay all the way back. So I wanna be in a position where I can let my whole body kind of relax over this ball. And you could put the foot bar down if it's in your way. I think it should be fine because we'll be moving. So I'm gonna have that ball that's supporting me. I'm gonna do a bicep curl and then shoot the arms to the foot bar. As you do that, you're gonna lean over the ball and come into a nice big back bend. You can even kind of go into the springs a little, extending, and then reach the arms out, lift your head, neck, and shoulders, and come all the way back to where you started with the hands beside you. We'll do that again. So you bicep curl, you go back as far as comfortable for your neck and your shoulders. You'll reach the arms straight to the foot bar into that little back bend. You'll circle the arms out and around and back to where you started. So nice big exhale as you press the arms over your head. And big inhale as you circle it all the way back to your start. We'll do just a few more in this direction, and then we're gonna switch to the direction. Now I do like a blue spring because I'm getting full range of motion. I'm working more on my stretch. But certainly you could add more weight and go to a red spring if you wanted this to be more intense. But this is our stretching class, so we don't want to make it too much. If you put too much weight on there, the muscles will fatigue and you won't get the best stretch. All right, let's reverse it. Circle the arms, go into the back bend over the ball, and then do a bicep curl, release to where you started. So it's a big circle as you go open over the ball, and then bicep curl back to where you started. So just mobilizing the spine, getting that big stretch, opening the heart, and then pulling it back in. Hopefully this feels good. If for some reason it does not feel good on the ball, then you can try to move the ball, maybe move it a little bit closer to your shoulder blades so it gives you more support and you won't be able to go as much into your extension. Just kind of play around and see what works for you. And then we'll come in and we'll put the straps away. Really good job. Okay, we're done with the ball. That was all I was using the ball for. So I'm going to grab my box, and we're going to put the box on longwise. And then you definitely want to put the foot bar down for this one. So I have my foot bar down, and I'm going to lay on my belly on the box facing the tower. So I like to lie kind of right at my bra line with my chest off the box. I'm going to let the hands come to the wood and just release everything over the box. So we just are going into a little bit of flexion after all that extension. Just let go of your legs, let go of your arms, let go of every muscle that you're working, and just let it release. Take one more breath here. And then we'll start to add some work back in. So I want you to push your pubic bone into the box, reach your legs long, hold on to the wood with your hands, use your lats as you start to pull your head towards the tower, lifting your head, neck, and shoulders into a little back bend, pulling the sternum forward, drawing the shoulders back and down, pulling the abs in and the ribs in, and reaching your legs long. And then go ahead and release and take it back down. Let everything go, and we'll do that again. So you're going from this point of everything relaxed, nothing engaged, to starting to engage, pushing the pubic bone down, engaging the legs, pulling your abs in, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the sternum forward, using your lats here to hold, and then releasing everything back down, letting everything go and softening into the box. One more to go here. Push the pubic bone down. That's going to help protect the low back. Reach your legs long. Pull with your arms. Pull with your lats. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the sternum. Find your extension. And then let everything release. and relax back against the box. Good. Walk yourself forward. Grab onto your tower. If you don't have a tower, you're going to grab the stands that the ropes are on. So either one will work. You're going to lift the sternum slightly, roll the shoulders back. Again, push the pubic bone into the box, drop your tailbone down, and we'll start doing some pull-ups. I know this isn't stretching, but we're going to do a little work as well. But I want you to focus on the full extension. So you're pulling in and then extending all the way out. Pulling in and extending all the way out. Do one more, and then we're going to do single arms. So I want you to have your right hand that's going to be pulling. Your left hand's going to be on the headrest, and you'll start pulling just the right arm. If this is too challenging, put both arms back on and do another set with double arms. So what I'd like to tell my clients is you're going to do 8 total. It doesn't mean you have to do all 8 at once. You might want to do 4 on one side, 4 on the other, and do 2 sets. Or you might want to do 4 sets of 8 of 2, or you might want to do 8 sets of 1, whatever the math works. You're doing 8 on one side, and then you're switching and doing the other side, or you're doing 4, 4, 4, 4. 8 total is your goal. Good. Pulling in, going all the way out slow. Taking your time. Good. After you have finished 8, however you've sliced it, you're going to take both hands to the tower or the pegs, and you're going to let the whole box come to rest as you let your head, your neck, and your shoulders release. And if you have a friend handy, you could ask them to pull your legs, and that would be like the most amazing stretch ever. And then you're going to walk your hands back home and then bring yourself off of the box. All right. Now I want to put the foot bar back up. And then we're going to take a red spring on and a blue spring. So I have 1 red, 1 blue. So we did some pulling with the arms. Now we're going to be doing pushing for the opposing muscles. So lay on your belly facing the foot bar. Again, you want the broad line off the box. Your hands are about the width of your shoulders and your elbows are lower than the shoulders. Again, push the pubic bone down and lift your chest slightly. We're going to push the carriage out and pull it back in. Again, not a stretch, but we're working on full range of motion, pushing all the way out and resisting back in. The stretch will come. Good. Inhale as you come in. Exhale as you press. Do one more with both arms. And then we're going to take the red spring off. Keep your blue on. Right hand's going to stay on. Your left hand can go to the small of the back or the edge of the box. And we're going to push all the way out and back in. Concentrate on sliding the shoulders down your back, keeping your right elbow down. If you bring the right elbow too out to the side, you're going to start to feel that too much in the neck, and we want to keep the work out of the neck. Some people have more of a tendency than others to work for the neck to overwork. So if that's you, definitely keep your elbow down and keep the work in the tricep. After 8, we're going to switch sides. Again, the same rules apply. If you don't want to do all 8 at once, you could do 2 sets of 4, or 4 sets of 2, or 8 sets of 1, and just alternate. Good. Do that 2 more times. And last one. Good, come on home. Now I'm gonna lower my foot bar just to get it out of the way. And we're gonna go into another little back bend before we lay down. So take your right leg and bend it. Grab your right hand onto the ankle, and I'm gonna lift back. I've got my left hand on the foot bar, and I'm gonna push my right leg back, push my tailbone down. The more you drive through the right leg, the more you're gonna be able to lift. So this is a lot of quad work. So I'm pushing my leg back with as much intensity as I can, and that's lifting my chest and bringing me into this half bow position. Take one more big breath in, and then bring it down. Let's switch. Right hand to the foot bar. I just moved my foot bar down 1 to kind of get it out of the way a little. And then you're gonna bend your left leg. Now, another thing to think about here is that you're not splaying the knees open. You're trying to keep your hips square. So I'm gonna push my left leg back, and by pushing my left leg back, I'm gonna be able to come into my little back bend. Now your right leg for sure is active. You're pushing your pubic bone into the box. You're really using your quadricep on that right leg, left leg, to pull the upper body up. 3, 2, make sure you're breathing, and release. We're going to either bend both legs and try both. If that is too much, if you weren't able to grab the ankles at all, then your option is the hands interlace behind the back. So you're either going to take both hands behind the back and do this variation, or if you can grab both ankles, you grab both ankles. Make sure your knees are staying in, your tailbone is dropping, and your pubic bone's heavy. Now push both of your feet way back. Press your sternum way forward. This isn't about driving your body back. It's about pushing your legs back, pressing your sternum forward, creating space in your back. For 3, and 2, and 1. Release everything down. Rest your head on the foot bar. Rest your legs. Rest your whole body. And then you can come into a little child's pose variation. I'm just going to step off the box. For my little child's pose variation, put my elbows on the box and round my back. So you could obviously do child's pose on the box. I'm just going to have my feet on the floor and do a little flexion here to give my back a little rest after that extension. Hopefully you're feeling nice and stretched out. We have one more little series to go. That's our feet in the straps. So we're going to need to remove the box and take that away from the carriage. And then let's put our foot bar back up to mid-bar position, and then put on a red and blue. So I have one red, which is a heavy for me, and one blue, which is a medium. And let's go ahead and lay all the way down. Again, if you'd like your headrest up, you can do that. I'm going to keep mine down. Press the carriage all the way out, and we'll put our feet in the straps. So your right foot and then your left foot, or vice versa. All right, come into a little frog position. I've got my tailbone grounded. I've got a neutral spine. My knees are right in line with my hips. My heels are pressing together. I'm just going to start by pressing the legs all the way long and then pulling them back in. Now, traditionally, you would stop when your knees are in line with your hips and you work more stability in the spine. We're going to be working more stretch. So I'm going to let you pull the knees in, feel the low back press, get a stretch, let the tailbone lift, and then push it back out. So again, we're working on more on a stretch and a release of your back than our traditional stability of the spine, since this is our stretch class. But this is your workout and it's your body, so do what feels best for you. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to a variation called jumping frog. So pull the knees in. From this position, open the legs wide into a V, and then squeeze the legs together low over the foot bar. So you'll bend the knees into frog, reach the legs long, and then squeeze the legs together. Pulling back in, Reaching the legs long and squeezing back together. Two more in this direction. And last one. And then we'll reverse the direction. So you're going to open the legs wide, bend the knees, bring the heels together, and push the legs long. Open the legs wide, bend into your frog, and then push the legs long. Open wide, pull in, and press. Last two. And one. Good. Press the legs long. Bring the toes to touch so you're in neutral. Bring the legs up to the highest position. Feet a little stretch, and we'll go into circles. So you'll go down first, open out and around and all the way up. Again, this is your stretch class, so don't be afraid to make these circles big. Don't be afraid to stop where you might feel a good stretch. You might just want to hold there for a moment. Do what your body needs today. When you get to the top, I want you to reverse the direction of the circle. So you'll go open, pull down and together, bring the big toes to touch and come back up. So you open wide, pull down and together, big toes to touch, and then back up to the top. Do that one more time. And then hold the legs long. So I'm going to have my legs long. I'm just adjusting my straps down a little closer to my heels. Make sure your headrest is down. We're going to go into short spine. So you're going to lift your legs up, pull your abs in, and start to roll your hips one vertebrae at a time off of the carriage. The carriage should dock, so you should have the carriage all the way to the bumper here. You're going to separate your toes, bend your knees to the shoulder blocks, roll yourself into tabletop frog, and then from there, push the legs long, bring the big toes back to touch. So you inhale, the legs go up. You exhale, roll the hips up, bring the carriage back to the bumper, and pause. Separate your toes, bend your knees. Now roll your hips down, but try to keep your feet in the same spot. So you're going to try to lengthen the whole back of the legs as long as you can. Use your abdominals for support, and then bend your knees into frog. Push your legs long, big toes to touch. Inhale, the legs go up. Exhale, you roll the hips up just to the shoulders. You don't want to feel any weight in the neck. Separate your big toes, bend your knees to your shoulder blocks. Roll your spine down. Hips go away from the heels as long as you can. Get that stretch, and then pull your heels back to your hips. Push your legs long, turn your toes to touch. One more here. You're going to inhale the legs up. Exhale, roll the hips up. Separate your toes, pull the knees into the shoulder blocks. Roll your hips away from your heels. Get that great stretch to the hamstrings. Pull yourself to tabletop frog. Press your legs away. Bring your big toes to touch, send the legs to the ceiling. Grab your straps, pull them down, and this time give the hamstrings a nice stretch. So your tailbone stays grounded, and you squeeze your quadriceps, lift your kneecaps, and pull the legs towards you. And then bend the knees, pull the knees in. Take the left leg out of the strap and put that foot onto the foot bar. Hold the right leg in the strap and come into another hamstring stretch here. So my left ball of the foot's on the bar, and I'm dropping my heel underneath the bar, and I'm holding this strap with both hands, pulling my right leg towards me. And the more you can lift your quad and lift your kneecap, the more the back of the leg will release. Now I'm going to bend my left leg till I feel a little deeper stretch, and I'm going to turn my left leg out to the side and bring my right leg to the side. I'm going to take both hands on both of the legs and give a little pressure for an inner thigh stretch. Still, my tailbone's heavy, and I'm using a deep breath. And then bring the leg to the center. Turn the right leg back to neutral, ball the foot on, push the left leg back to neutral, and the left leg goes straight, and now the right leg comes across the body. Two things, if I keep this hip grounded, I'm gonna get more stretch through my IT band and the outer thigh. If I let the leg lift, I'm gonna get more stretch through the back. So whichever feels better for you, you can choose to go there. Come back to the center, bend your right leg into a figure 4, cross it over your left, and then like we did in the beginning, grab your left hamstring and pull it towards you. Now you have the added benefit of the strap pulling you as well. Your right elbow can push into the right knee, pushing it away, or you can keep both hands on the left hamstring holding that. And then we'll go ahead and release the right strap, put it away, pick up your left strap, put it in your left foot, and then you're going to find your hamstring stretch. So on the other side, I did it with the right leg straight on the ball of the foot, heel underneath. That's definitely something that you can do. If in the future you want to do it with the right leg bent, you can also do that. You may feel a bigger stretch. My clients are kind of mixed on that, so I let them do whichever feels good. So I'm going to squeeze my quadricep, lift my kneecap, lengthen through the whole hamstring. And then for the second stretch, I am going to bend the right knee, turn the right toes out to the side, bring the left leg out to the left. I'm going to take both hands and place them on my legs and just give myself a little extra assistance into the stretch. And then bring the leg to the center. Right ball the foot back onto the bar, push all the way out with the right, take your left leg towards the right. You can either keep your left hip grounded for an IT band stretch, or you can lift the left hip for more into the back. And then you'll bend your left leg, cross your left leg over your right for the figure 4, pull the right hamstring in with your hands. So you have the added benefit of the strap here. You can also use your left hand to push your left knee away from you. And then you can slowly take the strap off, bring yourself home, pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug. We're going to put the heels on wide and do little windshield wipers, so you let your knees go from side to side, giving your back a little stretch, making it more dynamic, which means we're still stretching, but we're doing a moving stretch. And we'll make it static in a second. So the next time you're over to the right, you're going to hold. Take your right leg, if you want more stretch, your right foot is going to go on the outside of your left knee, and you're going to let that weight kind of pull your body off to the side. So you're getting a stretch through that left outer thigh. If that doesn't feel good, then don't put the right foot on the left. It's just going to give you extra weight for a deeper stretch. And then release the right foot from the left, and we'll go back into the windshield wipers, a few side to side, more dynamic stretch. Just work at a range of motion that feels good. Next time you're over to the left, hold. If you want it deeper, you're going to lift the left foot, bring it on the outside of the right knee, and come into your stretch there. And then come back to the center. You can do just a few more of the side to side. And then I want you to come to the center, pull your knees into your chest, and we're going to roll all the way off to the side. Let's take it to a blue spring. Take your red spring off. Ease lunge, your right foot's against the shoulder block, your right knee is on the carriage. You're going to bend your left leg and press into your lunge. Now I like to think of actively pushing my right knee in towards the carriage, tucking my tailbone, maybe even squeezing the right glute a little bit to release the right hip flexor. And then you can even lift your sternum, lift your chest, and get a bigger stretch all the way through the front of the body. And then bring it all the way in. Last stretch of the day, guys. Let's take it over to the other side. Right foot on the floor, left foot up against the shoulder block, left knee on the carriage. Push all the way back. Again, push your left leg into the carriage. Tuck your tailbone under. Squeeze your left glute. Lift your sternum. Take one more deep breath in. One more big exhale. And you're done. Unless there's anything else that I left out that you want to stretch, you can feel free to do that. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you have any questions, comments, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope to see you next time. Have a great day.